It's fight week once again, and we've got one of the most. I mean, Dana White's calling it the most stacked UFC card in history. It's definitely one of them. From top to bottom, there's some exciting things. I mean, for the sake of time, because it's a big card, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna mainly talk about the 3 title fights. But I'll give like a couple mentions to a couple of the other fights. Like when you got Miesha Tate looking to bounce back on this card against Raquel Pennington. She probably will. That's in the bantamweight division. You got Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman is back. I'd expect him to get a victory. There's not really much to talk about with those 2 fights. Edgar's on the card. I think he's on the prelims, not the main card, I do believe. Also on the prelims, disrespected again, Khabib. He's facing Michael Johnson, who Michael Johnson just got like a surprise win in his last fight, like a surprise dominating victory, and I think he was the underdog. But at the end of the day, he is not going to beat Khabib. Who is going to beat Khabib? Freaking, you can argue Alvarez has been ducking him. No, let's be honest, everyone's been ducking Khabib, and for good reason. Can you imagine the prospects of possibly Conor McGregor and Khabib? Well, that's something to talk about later. But yeah, Khabib, expect him to continue just dominating. Let's go into the title fights. First up, the women's strawweight title. You got JJ, Joanna champion. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce her last name, so I'm just going to say Joanna champion. You got Joanna against Carolina. Again, not going to attempt to pronounce that last name. But you know who I'm on about. And we have a unique situation here in this women's strawweight title fight. You got 2 undefeated fighters, first of all. And how often do you see that, 2 undefeated fighters coming together in a title fight? And not only that, they're both Polish as well. So, it's a big moment for Polish fans, I suppose, of MMA. It's got to be a huge moment. See 2 Polish women, 2 undefeated Polish women, fighting for the main belt of their division. It's got to be a good feeling. But to me, as much as they are both undefeated, you look at the track records of both JJ and I'll just call her KK for Carolina. And for me, this is kind of an easy one to call. I will be very surprised if Joanna doesn't walk away with victory. Very surprised. Things got pretty heated in their stare down as well. If you saw, especially with Joanna just seemed kind of cool, calm, confident. And she got under Carolina's skin with that near headbutt. And Carolina weren't happy. That's for sure. But yeah, this one, would it go the distance? Possibly. I mean, it might. But yeah, I don't see anything other than a JJ victory. And we've got Tyron Woodley versus Stefan Thompson. Now, Tyron Woodley, I can understand why this dude must feel disrespected. 5 of his last 6 fights, he was the underdog. He won each of those fights. The guy freaking... He's kind of in my bad books right now because he wrecked one of my favourite fighters of all time, Robbie Lawler. But the point is, he wrecked Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler, who ain't no joke. This guy has been through so many wars. Don't forget that Robbie Lawler, what was that? Who did he have that beastie fight with? Rory McDonald. Don't forget the Robbie Lawler-Rory McDonald fight. That was insane. And his fights with Johnny Hendricks. By the way, Johnny Hendricks, what's happened to him since then? Like, seriously. This is a different man. Not in a good way. This guy is a mess now. But anyway, those fights were insane. So yeah, and Tyron Woodley's coming destroying him. Tyron Woodley's again the underdog for this fight with Stefan Thompson. I'm not so sure about that. Tyron Woodley is he impressed me so much with that that destroyal of it's not even a word, of Lawler. I mean, I know Stefan Thompson only has 1 loss, but I'm not so sure. Like, for me, this is like a 50-50 fight. There's a 50-50 fight, and I genuinely don't know which way to go with this one. Because of the hot streak. I mean, obviously, Stephen Thompson's on a bit of a streak. I mean, he hasn't lost since when it was Matt Brown, I believe. It was like all the way back in like 2012 or something like that. So, like, I'm having trouble calling this one. You know what? I'm gonna say just because he beat my guy Lawler, I'm gonna give the nod to Tyron Woodley in this one. Yes, going against the grain here, but I'm gonna give the nod to Tyron. Stephen Thompson isn't the kind of guy to talk trash. Like, Tyron has been like, because this guy's been getting heavily booed, by the way. He's not a public guy, Tyron Woodley. So during like press conferences and that, he's been trying to kind of stir up a little bit something. Like, not like, if you read between the lines, he's been trying to stir up a little bit of a reaction from Thompson, but ain't working. Stephen Thompson still, like, he's the guy that's like, well, you know, respect my opponent, it's gonna be good fight, I'm gonna put on a show, and you know, this kind of thing. While Tyron Woodley's been like, yeah, after I beat him, and you know, things like that. He's like, I'm here to make history and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm going with Tyron. I want Stefan to win because again, Tyron beat Robbie Lawler, and I haven't forgiven him for that. Right? Still a bit sore. And of course, the main event. Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor. Yo, that press conference was hilarious. Conor's entrance was too good. Taking the belt off his desk, almost getting into a scuffle when Eddie took it back, and then the chair. He threw a freaking chair at him. Oh, Conor McGregor is hilarious. Like, he's legit one of my favourite fighters to not watch in terms of in the octagon, because I think by the way, I stand by the fact that Conor McGregor is overrated. He really is really overrated. But he's one of my favourite fighters to watch outside of the octagon. Like his antics leading up to the fight, the banter, the trash talk, all of that. I love that about Conor McGregor. I just think he hasn't proven himself to be as good as people say he is inside the octagon yet. He has many holes in his game, I feel like, and people give him too much credit just because he's such a big draw. But like I said, I'm still a huge fan. Yeah, Conor McGregor and Eddie Alvarez. Again, another 50-50 type fight for me. I think Conor's the slight favourite with bookies going into this. Slight favourite. Neither result would shock me. Neither result would honestly shock me. I'm leaning towards Conor McGregor more just because of the size of Alvarez isn't the kind of size that's going to hurt. That's like, although Eddie Alvarez is a decent wrestler, right? Conor's main weakness is wrestling, as we saw with Chad Mendes. Chad Mendes put the beatings on that boy, and Conor managed to turn it around. He stuck in there with heart and managed to turn it around again. But Eddie Alvarez hasn't got the wrestling level, or what? Even that, it's like just like Chad Mendes, Eddie Alvarez is more of a stocky guy. He hasn't got the size that hurts McGregor, because Conor McGregor, clearly, as we saw with Nate Diaz, and he said it himself, he struggles most fighting taller, lankier, longer-reaching guys, and that's not Eddie Alvarez at all. Look at his body type. And that's the main weakness of Conor McGregor. If you get someone tall and lanky with freaking great wrestling, Conor is just getting done. Another weakness Conor has is he will not do well against great counter punchers. That's why it's a shame what's happened with Jose Aldo, because that rematch, I honestly would have backed Aldo to win. The way he performed in that Edgar fight, in that Frankie Edgar fight, sorry, it was great. And I think that's the kind of fighter that would frustrate, annoy, and just beat Conor on points easily. Like, Jose Aldo is best, but looks like we probably will never see that again now, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to go with Conor to win this one. On points, I'm going to say. This one goes the distance. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Conor McGregor gets KO'd, like seriously. Eddie Alvarez is no joke. This guy has been in the game a very long time. He hasn't been in UFC a long time, but he's been in MMA a very long time. And if Conor decides to stay in this division, things are going to get very, very interesting. Like, if Aldo... I mean, I haven't heard any updates. I mean, is Aldo like 100% officially retired now? Because if he is, I want Conor to stay in the 155 division. If not, I want him to fight Aldo. Don't get that twisted. But if Aldo's done, move up. Go to that division, because Khabib is waiting. He needs to be fed. Like, someone needs to step in there with Khabib. So I think the winner of this fight should be fighting Khabib. And honestly, for either Alvarez or McGregor, that may not end very well. Let's just say that. But that's another conversation for after we see the results of this fight. So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if any other else wins, but I honestly think Conor's gonna get this one. Again, probably on points. Because Conor, one thing about Conor, and he said it himself, his precision is outstanding. Like he knows the spots. He can land his shots. I wish the guy would just freaking move his head out of centre line when he's coming in. It's almost like he's too confident in his chin. Like, and Eddie Alvarez will rock you. So we'll see how it goes though. But yeah, I am pumped for this card. I'm actually gonna watch. Like, usually I only like catch highlights of the prelims. I am probably gonna watch most of the fights in the prelims. Definitely Khabib's fight for sure. Edgar's fight I might watch as well. But yeah, this is looking to be a good one. So we'll see how it goes. Could it be the greatest UFC card of all time? Yeah, we shall see on Saturday night.